Welcome back, everyone. It's the Aces Golf Show, and we have Forbesy from PointsBet and Dommy Tyson from Clutch & Co. And can he predict the winner of the Open Championship 2025? Boys, I love seeing you on set. How are we?
Oh, it's great to be here, Trano. Last major of the year. It's been a good ride on the American Aces PointsBet Golf Show. I've enjoyed it. I'm 1 from 2. I was putrid with Shane Lowry. He's let me down. I've moved on from him. Forbesy, how are you, mate?
Yeah, going very well. Still disappointed with my boy Straka at the US Open. Shot about $1 million over and was out of it on day one. So hopefully we can steer the punters into 1 or 2 for the Open Championship. Looking forward to it.
That was everything that you guys did say, though. That looked difficult. The conditions were crazy, and a lot of the favourites were out of action early, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. It was great for us as Australians with Adam Scott sort of contending, really, wasn't he? He got it really rough with the weather. It came in sideways and stopped momentum, and those 2 that were in that final group really struggled. It was one that, other than JJ Spawn, who was just steady golf, great watching, good to see him struggle. Rough was brutal.
Yeah, it was a fantastic event, and it reminds you sort of why you fall in love with the game of golf, just how difficult it can be. And I think a lot of the players got brought back to earth as well with some of the scores that they posted. But yeah, very different test of golf coming into the Open Championship, and hopefully we can unpack it for the punters and find something for them.
We're definitely going to unpack it. Now, Dommy, don't jump ship. Shane Lowry goes back. We'll talk about his form on this course as you break down, where they're playing and the tradition and everything else with the weather. But before we do, boys, I just want to make sure you're not going to just jump off after that last one. I mean, it's a mulligan for a few of them. The conditions were tough. So make sure you're giving the punters, don't just jump off.
He's going as well as your prophet propeller for Shane Lowry.
The prophet propeller is cursed. I'll tell you what, and this show isn't cursed because Dommy tipped the winner of the Masters. But yeah, it is going as well as the propeller, isn't it?
Yeah, well, he's ever present, Shane Lowry. I mean, it's his home major. And he's a previous champion in Royal Portrush. We'll get into the course and everything that provides. Back in 2019, he's just fallen off his short game. He's usually got that magic with his short game, a bit like you, Trano. I know we pump you up for your short game.
The wand. They call it the wand around the green.
At 56 degrees, this opens the club face, slides it under like butter and just a bit of sizzle on the green. But Lowry's lacking that. And he sort of looked frustrated out at the US Open, didn't he?
Yeah, he looked like something had sort of gone wrong with his game almost. He looked almost defeated by the course, and it defeated a few of the best players in the world, but he looked really sort of flat. He didn't play the Scottish Open, just trying to get himself right, probably drinking 14 Guinnesses a day to get himself ready for some good golf at the Open Championship for his home track, where he's won before as well, which I think is very important.
All right, boys, I want to kick the show off with an icebreaker. We're going to start with an icebreaker, and then we're going to dive right in and break this down for the punter at home who hasn't got time to go over all the tips and the updates on this big Open Championship 2025. Righto, you ready, fellas? Would you rather, okay, here's a would you rather. You're on the tee box of the 72nd hole at the Open. You're leading by 2 shots with Rory and Scotty chasing you, or you got a 10-foot putt with a 3-foot break to win it. What would you rather?
I'm taking the putt because if I bottled a 2-shot lead on the 72nd hole, I don't think I'd ever play golf again, and none of my mates would ever talk to me ever again. So I'm taking the putt with almost no confidence of holding it and probably 3-putting from there.
Less can go wrong taking that putt, Trano, with the 2-shot lead off the tee box. That drive, I'm flaring one right, and then I'm in the rough, and then God knows what's happening there, and I'm up fudging around the green and going, can I get this on and make 6? So you 2-putt that sliding 10-footer and just hope Rory and Scheffler do the same.
Wow. So the 72nd versus the putt, and you boys are both going to go the putt. You're not going to back yourself in with your 2-shot lead. You just need to put it on the dance floor and then just hope for surely a bogey would get you over the line, wouldn't it?
As always in life, the closer to the hole you are, the better off you are. So I think starting up as close as possible is where you want to be.
I love it. Let's put it out there. Would you rather the putt? Or would you rather the 2-shot lead? Looking forward to everyone. Get in the comments and let us know. All right, Dom, let's kick us off, mate. Let's talk about the course. Let's talk about the Open Championship 2025 and the conditions that we're going to be facing.
Well, that's it, Trino. Let's start with the conditions. So it's going to be true, proper Open conditions. There's wind, there's rain, forecast for all 4 days. Cold wind is probably the key. It sort of kills the trajectory of the ball and the distances involved. Interestingly, with Royal Portrush, it's notorious for slower greens out of those link-style courses, and they tend to keep it a little bit slower, a little bit fairer, because if the wind does really rear up, the courses are almost unplayable with fast greens. So the defense is the win, but they also keep the greens slow. So those uphill putts, got to put a bit of muscle behind them. Forbesy on the course too.
Yeah, look, I think as you've already touched on the conditions, and it's one of the reasons that we love watching. Not only is it sort of prime time, you sit down Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights and settle in for a nice long evening on the couch with a red wine in front of the fire, watching some of the best players go about it. But it's the conditions that you see them struggling in, the strong winds, the rain, the true traditional test of golf, the bunkering as well at Portrush, very deep, very hard to get out of. So players that can scramble, make up and down and sort of get themselves out of trouble around the greens are the players that will be contesting it come Sunday afternoon.
Tiger Woods and Rick Fowler had some quotes on the course, Dommy. Did you want to read a few of them out for the punters?
Yeah, I'll summarise those. Tiger spoke about a lot of bump and runs. First of all, off the top, he said it's an unbelievable golf course, a true masterpiece. Darren Clark also called it. Shane Lowry, after the 2019 return to Royal Portrush, said the players all raved about it. So the players don't lie. Like even coming out of the Scottish Open, they ripped into that course. So there's generally some honesty there from the players. So they're excited to take the challenge. Ricky Fowler, it does force you to play the ball in the air and really test your ball striking.
Yeah, look, they're hard to fold anything that the best players in the world say, but it is the sort of course that the Americans can struggle a little bit on. They're very used to hitting these big high draws into greens that are very receptive and will hold the ball and spin. These courses are a little bit firmer, a little bit bumpier. So you need to be able to play different shots. It's not just get your 60 degree or your 56 out and slide the club under it and you know exactly what's going to happen every time. You got to think a little bit differently. You're going to see the old Texas wedge used from off the green. Trainer, I know you don't mind that from about 70 metres out instead of picking up a wedge. But
I don't mind a Texas barbecue either.
But that's what's so exciting about this tournament as well. The fact that these players have to hit different shots and you could have three players hit three different shots from a very similar position. It's about what works for them in their game to be able to, attack some of these pins, which are very tricky at times.
What else? What else about this course, Dom?
Well, if I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, Trono, but it's similar to some Australian-style golf courses. The courses that we get here, even in Melbourne, a Royal Melbourne, a 13th Beach, it's a link style. So that is why you tend to see the Australians perform pretty well at the Open Championship.
Well, we've got some great representatives from Australia. I've got a few here. Jason Day, Lucas Herbert, Min Woo Lee, my man. He'll be stepping up. I'll be backing him later. I'll let you know about that. Mark Leishman, Curtis Luck, Ryan Peake, Adam Scott, Cameron Smith, and Elvis Smiley, who I actually DM, boys, and was very, flat that he hasn't seen it. It's in the inbox. A lot of people don't look to check the inbox. But Oz American Aces did reach out to Elvis. So anyone that knows Elvis and listening, let him know that I'm a bit flat because we love his work and we wanted to get him on the show. But there's some great reps there from Australia.
That's unlike you to not have the direct line to someone very top tier, very famous.
It was very last minute. I had a big, there's a big selection there. I thought I'll go Elvis. I like the first name.
No, I love it, mate. There's 9 in the field and it's great that you've listed them off. They all need recognition for being in the field. There's a few lesser knowns that, the Curtis Luck, the Ryan Peake and your man Elvis Smiley, they're worth, celebrating the fact that they'll get the start. Ryan Peake, he's an interesting story. So he's won in the New Zealand Open, which got him the start here at the British Open, the Open Championship, has done time in jail. He was part of a bikie group. He actually grew up neck to neck with Cam Smith through his teenage years. Obviously, they went at separate paths through their early 20s, very separate paths, you could say. And he sort of got his life back on track and he's been open about that in some interviews.
What a story.
Yeah, reconnected.
Fantastic story. Yeah, really, really good story and playing some really good golf at the moment as well. So hits it a long way, great touch around the greens. I think it'd be one that would be very popular to be up the top of the leaderboard, especially for the Aussies. We love getting behind an underdog.
How long was he in the can for?
I think a couple of years for assault, Traino. So,
boy.
Yeah.
What do you do in jail to work on your golf game? Like, how would you, what could you do in the cell? I'm just thinking, what do you do?
Having never stepped foot in a jail cell, Traino, and no plan to anytime soon. Not too sure how much. I'm not sure you're getting a little 9-iron just allowed in your prison cell to practice your bump and runs or your swing.
And what about the first name Elvis? Like as your parents, when you have a kid, great moment. A lot of people having kids these days, and you get to choose a name. Elvis is a strong name. I like it.
I'm more interested in the fact that he just said a lot of people are having kids these days.
I feel like all my mates are having kids. As a 32-year-old male, it feels like everyone's starting to pop them out.
Yeah, true. Know any Elvises?
Nah, never heard of an Elvis. This is the first Elvis outside of the real Elvis that I know.
I'm sure there's a backstory. I think he's got some sporting pedigree in his family. The mum might be a tennis player and dad might even be involved in some high-level sport. Dominated the Oz PGA Tour. Left-hander, lanky sort of type.
Great name.
Yeah, strong name. So that obviously sets him up really well in life as well.
I'm getting right.
You can't be
behind
bad
him.
at sport if your name's Elvis Smiley, can you?
No, you can't. And especially if you're in the Open representing Australia.
Physically, he's a little bit like a Jeremy Cameron. Picture that. So sort of the way he moves and that lanky sort of fluid type.
A
So
real emu type of operator.
if we had to go for an animal, I'd be landing on an emu.
What about the other Aussies? I mean, we probably didn't give enough credit to Adam Scott in the last show. We didn't really talk about him, and then all of a sudden he's leading. Like, well, any other Aussies, boys?
Well, Adam Scott, first of all, just unbelievable. His longevity in the game and his ability to still compete at the absolute top in the toughest test of golf is a testament to probably his swing and his just natural ability that he can just rely on that swing to get him in good places more often than not. The other one that I like is Mark Leishman. A lot of the golf that he played growing up down at Warrnambool, windy, wet, cold conditions. I'm not sure how many have sort of made the trip down to Warrnambool this time of the year, but it's a very cold place, and he played all his golf growing up down there. So I think he's one that will relish the opportunity in these cold, wet conditions for the weekend.
And just to tag on for Adam Scott for a second, trainer, we're 32 and we're having back spasms, sneezing at the moment or touching our toes, but he's 44 and his swing speed and distance is increasing. So a fair athlete there to be doing that at 44 and still competing at majors.
It is. I might have to give him a little call there, Tommy boy, because I can't go around the tan without my left tendon and my calf just blowing right up. The points bet. We're powered here by PointsBet, and me and Forbesy have been hustling for a market because we think the Aussies are at fair income chance. We spoke about how they grow up on similar courses. So we have a special market, the Australasian market. Do you want to talk about what we've created there at $19, Forbesy, on the PointsBet app?
Yeah, look, at Cracker, there's nothing better than cheering the Aussies, especially when they're overseas. So on the app, we've got a little market available for everyone, any Australian or New Zealander, really getting behind the Anzacs over there to win the tournament at $19. And another one as well for the first night, $15 for any Aussie or New Zealander to be leading after the opening round. So a couple of markets there for people to cheer. You get to back all the Aussies in one place, one bet and cheer home the Aussies.
That's amazing because it's combining all them. It's better than having a sweep and, getting a 50 to 1. You get $19 for any Aussie or New Zealander to win the tournament. It's special. And one note I've written down already, boys, when you talk, I write notes. Americans can't win it. That's what you've told me, Forbesy. Americans cannot win it. So someone else has to win it, maybe a European or maybe an Aussie and Anzac. So I'm loving that $19 market from PointsBet. Dommy, what do you think? I
love it. It's, as Forbesy mentioned, you're just settling in on a Thursday night and you're going, how long can I last before the eyes start getting droopy? And I like Ryan Fox. I mentioned his name before, but he's in great form. He's won twice this year, and he's actually also won an Irish Open previously. Humble sort of guy, flies under the radar, very, very lovable on tour. The guys on tour speak very highly of him. He's just in the prime of his career right now. I think he could be leading this after round one and even competing by the back end.
Just on that, boys, if you were on tour and you just could have 6 beers with one player, who's the one golfer that you'd love to have 6 beers with?
It's a great question. Brooks Koepka's up there. Tyrrell Hatton, another one, based on his hot mic performances.
They can't bring their misses with them, Forbes.
I've had...
Well, that's Dustin Johnson for you, trainer.
Look, one bloke I actually have been lucky enough to have a couple of beers with is Mark Leishman, and all-time bloke, as good as it gets. So I still think it's probably Leishman for me.
You were
so you're
talking
going to go
about
back
the
to the
lawn.
well.
I've had 2 with him, so I've got 4 up the sleeve.
That's amazing. What about you, Donna?
I was go pretty close to home too with Cam Smith. He just looks like a very relatable guy, and he looks like he's living a very good life in the fast lane right now. So I'd love to get near him.
I reckon Forbesy had beers with both of them at the same time. Is that Liv? Was that a Liv tour job?
Over at Liv, I reckon I might have had 10 with Cam Smith, and he puts them away quicker than you do train on a Saturday night at Electric. But 2 of the great blokes of all time. Fantastic and doing great things for Aussie golf as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Well, we've spoken about the Aussies, the New Zealanders. Let's talk about the favourites and the others. Anyone that you really fancy, boys, that you really like in the Open Championship?
Yeah, there are 4 names. They're ever present. There's McIlroy, Scheffler, DeChambeau and Rahm. We can go into a little bit of detail here, but they're the 4 probably that will be right up there by the back end of the tournament. It's interesting. McIlroy's the one, Forbesy, and I don't know where you're landing on this, but he's been up and down since the Masters, and there's probably been a bit of a lag. He's celebrated and he's taken a big, deep breath. He's really open with the media, and he's actually finally sort of said, my game's back in the same shape it was heading into the Masters. He's just come off a tied second in Scotland. There's still a Ryder Cup on the back end of this year, so it's still all systems go for McIlroy. And interesting, he's having the best season of his career, worst season of his career driving the ball, which means the rest of his game, which is what he used to rely on. So he's actually becoming a more rounded golfer. So if he just gets that driver going, which is sort of a funny thing to be saying about McIlroy, he's going to be right there, Forbesy.
I totally agree, and that's what I had written down. If McIlroy's driver's on, he wins. I think it's as simple as that. If he drives the ball well and puts himself into good positions, I think $8 is a pretty good bet with a points bet for him to take it out. He was really good in the Scottish. He lost by 2 shots, I think it was, in the end. I think he's a pretty good bet at $8. There's plenty of others in the field you can make a case for, but Rory's game is back to where it was, which he says it is. He's the best player in the world in my eyes when he's on.
How do you lose your weapon, boys? Like, how does the great man? He's won the Masters, right? And then the drive's just gone. Talk to me. Like, how?
There's no magic. I don't have the answer to that. There's no magic pill for that. The boys that are all very technical or feel that they have more that could explain that. Forbesy?
Yeah, I think it was Kevin Kisner might have said one day that he can go to the range and hit 200 drives and hit the middle of the club face every single time. He'll get out there on the first tee and block one right and be off for the rest of the day. It's such a mental game. There's such fine lines at the top echelon of golf that if something's just slightly off, it's really off. And these guys hit it so far, it doesn't need to be much wrong at impact to be in a different suburb.
We should have cooked up a market with points bet, fellas, for Rory to hit the fairway the first 3 off the tee. You know what I mean? That's something that we'd love. But anyway, I love the other ones we've got. Talk to me. What about Scotty Scheffler? Like, we always avoid talking about him. Mr. Consistent.
Boring.
But so good. Do you see him taking this out? As I said, I'm telling you all out there, my prediction, an American will not win this. But Scotty is always up there.
Yeah, he's still somewhat unproven outside of US soil. Like, he did win that gold medal in France at that Paris Olympics. It's interesting. So to the naked eye, you'd say he's having a slightly more down year than last year. And that's a fair thing to say based on the wins column. But statistically, he's actually having a better season. So he's still first off the tee, still first tee to green, and his actual putting's improved. So it shows you how hard it is to win a tournament. But he's still actually having a better year statistically than he is last year. So you can't deny that he's going to be right there. He's just going to be with Scheffler once again is those 10 to 15 foot putts. How many does he sink of those? And that's really going to sort of shape up his week.
Yeah, he was sort of nowhere and everywhere at the US Open, just hovering around, didn't really threaten, but there was, some nerves on Sunday when he started to make a few putts for the other players. I think he's too short at the opening price, $550. I'm happy to lay that and stay away from him at that price. I think that's far too short in a major going into the tournament. That might change like it did in the US Open where he drifted out to a bit more of a backable price. But I'm happy to sit out at $5.50.
I love it. I wanted to bring up a little one just for everyone listening or watching on YouTube there. By the way, if you are, just hit that subscribe button. We love that, don't we, boys? The ugly, and then we'll talk about the clutch. We'll get to clutch and co in a second. But the ugly, I want you to just give me someone that's really out of form. Because when I go on the points bet app, I don't want to click someone that's, Tommy Fleetwood that's sitting there at $21, but know that, he's got good form at these opens, but his form's average. So give me someone that is completely out of form and someone you should be avoiding.
I'll give you 2. So firstly, the ugly just to watch and to cheer on and to have on your TV screen is Brian Harman. The amount of time that man takes to hit a golf ball and there's just...
Talk about falling asleep while you're watching. Yeah. If they show him, I'm catching some Z's, I reckon.
How long do you reckon does he spend over the ball?
It's ridiculous.
He waggles that club about 40 times before he feels comfortable. You just got to pull the trigger, Brian.
We've all got a mate that goes over it. Like, what about when you roll out on a Sunday, his handicap's 20 and he's sitting there and he's going, oh, well, and you're sitting there and you're like, you're not allowed to say anything. You just go, come on, mate, it's going to go into the trees anyway. Just hit it.
You got to can them as mates. They don't belong in your life. Just move on from them.
Yeah, bin them. There's a few that come to mind very quickly and, yeah.
Drop one.
Well, Nick Fahey's.
See you later.
I hope he's listening. He'll be flat with that. Any more ugly people to avoid, Forbesy?
I think Jordan Spieth's game at the moment is pretty inconsistent. To be nice to him, I think he's not playing anywhere near his best. I think he's, really, really struggling just tee to green at the moment. So I'm more than happy to watch a past champion go around without $1 on him.
There you go. Well, that's the ugly. Now let's talk about the clutch. The Clutch & Co., by the way. How about the merch and the backdrop? If we go to the wide shot and you're watching, Dom, your range is getting juicier. These vests got a custom embroidery of American Aces. Anyone wants one, head online. We've got the Aces discount code for everything you've got. You are flying, mate. So well done on all the Clutch & Co. stuff. And again, that discount code, Forbesy, 20% off. And it's always online. So it's amazing stuff there. But, Dommy, who's someone that's clutch? Someone that you can trust?
It's interesting, Trano. I like where Tyrrell Hatton's game's at right now. The man's maturing. We know he's a hothead, but there's enough information now and there's enough body of evidence where I think Tyrrell Hatton is really in a good spot to attack this Open Championship.
Oh, I like that. Forbesy?
I'm going to throw one, John Rahm. Just his consistency on the Live Tour. He finishes, he's not really winning that often, but he's just has not missed a top 5 or a top 10 for a long time. His ball striking's fantastic. He ticks that European box for you there, Traino, of a non-American to win.
Well, mate, he's the best player at the Open Championship of the last 4 years, and he's had 3 top 10s, leads in bogey avoidance, success on these type of courses, 2 times in the Irish Opens. I love what you're saying.
The man's done his research. How about the statistics? I thought we're entertainment business, not analytics, and here you are with the analytics.
Well, I'm just picking up what Forbesy's putting down. I think Johnny Ram just sitting there. Johnny Rahm, I should say, not Ram. He'll be ramming you at home. That's what he'll be doing. But I like what you're saying, Forbesy.
Yeah, look, I think that's where some of my hard-earned will be going for the tournament. I think he's a pretty good bet at $13, mainly because you just know he's going to be in it. He's not going to put in any bad rounds, and I'll have egg on my face after he shoots 6 over in the first day. But you just know what you get with John Rahm. He's ultra consistent, and I think he'll be thereabouts on Sunday.
I like it. The Spaniard. Not an American. I've just got this thing, no American is winning this. Do you like that call or not?
No, Trano, I think you're on the money, mate. As Australians, we tend to lean with the Europeans if we are in a bit of a US versus European battle. And Forbes, there's something that you've spotted on the points bet sort of leaderboard or odds there.
Yeah, look, in terms of the market where we're sitting at the moment before a ball's been hit, 9 of the top 13 are European-based players. So you've only got Xander Schauffele, Scotty Scheffler, and Colin Morikawa in the sort of the top 13 in the betting odds. The rest of them are European, which you don't often see come these major tournaments. It just goes to show the, I suppose, art versus science nature of these sorts of golf courses. You've got to be a bit of an artist. You've got to think outside the box and some of the shots you need to hit rather than just hitting a bomb down there, hitting a wedge onto the green, making your putts. You've got to think differently about these courses and avoid and play some different shots.
I love it.
To be in the race on Sunday.
There you go. Well, Scotty's sitting at top. You'd think he's the only Yank that can potentially win it. Let's go top 10, top 20s. This is the market that everyone likes. It gives you a little bit of insurance there instead of going for the win. There's some juicy odds. I'm going to stick with my man, Tommy Fleetwood there, boys. His numbers support it. He's second in this event in 2019 to Shane Lowry, and I just think he'd be a popular winner even as a contender. So I like the top 10. I'll take him for top 20. I like his first name, boys. I'm going to back in Tommy Fleetwood for top 10 and top 20. What about you, Doma?
The top 10, Tommy strikes again with Tommy Fleetwood. Look, he's crumbled. He's had a chance to win on US soil. He still hasn't won that PGA Tour, but as you spotted, he's going to be an incredibly popular player to follow. The locals will get round him there. He's just lovable across the globe. Mate, for me, I actually like Justin Rose. So he's a little bit similar to Adam Scott where, look, you'd hate to say, but they're probably underachieved for the length of their career for how consistent and how good they've been. But I think Justin Rose, he's actually even a contender, let alone just a top 20. So, or top 10, as you said before. So, keep your eye on Justin Rose. I think his game, he's had a great season with the majors so far, 2025, and just looks primed for a really good week.
Forbesy, on the points bet app, you can actually cook up a big multi here for top 10, top 20. So I'm going to do that at the end. So you're going to do Justin Rose for Doma, Tommy Fleetwood for me. Who are you going to? We need a winner here, boys. We've had the Masters win, but I've let us down on these ones. So I'm hoping that we can get one this time with the last major of the year.
Yeah, totally agree. Victor Hovland, top 20 for mine. I think he's thereabouts. I just don't think he's got that killer winning instinct yet. but I like him for a top 20, top 10 sort of finish. He played pretty well at the Scottish Open. In terms of winners for me.
Oh, we're getting to the winners, are we?
We can go winners
he's
now.
getting toey over there, isn't he? He's getting toey.
I'm just a little bit excited about this one. Matt Fitzpatrick.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
All right. So I like Matt Fitzpatrick. Strong in driving accuracy off the tee, which is always important. You got to keep the ball in play. Could be a bit of a dark horse. You're getting around 41s to 51s with us at PointsBet, just hovering between those price points at the moment. And he's a major winner and he can play well on links courses. So for me, he ticks a lot of the boxes. He's a touch of value, and that's where I'll be having a bet and playing for the Open Championship.
I like it. What about you, Dom? Let's see if you can get another winner for the boys.
Tyrrell Hatton will be the winner of the 2025 Open Championship. He's a hothead. He's great to watch. He's a ball striker, and he had a little bit of a breakout performance at Oakmont, and he's ready to go.
And he loves to drink piss, doesn't he?
Oh, he'd be a bit of a lad. Yeah, he's honest. He lets you know exactly how he's feeling out on that course, trainer. A bit like you, he throws the cot out.
You need emotion in this world.
Yeah, well, Forbesy said it before. I loved what he said about art versus science, and he's a field player, Tyrrell, but he's also shown he plays well on tough golf courses in tough conditions, and I like that a lot, trainer.
I like it as well. I'm not going to give a tip because I'm going to lock in the Australasian $19 odds with the Anzacs that we've cooked up. That to get all those players in one bundle and have $19 odds makes life much more enjoyable. So I'm going to do that. I'll follow you boys in. But Forbesy, while I'm talking, can you just cook this up? I want Justin Rose, Tommy Fleetwood, and Victor Hovland top 20 and top 10 as a multi, and then let the punters know so that we can potentially get this up and ride it home together like the propeller when Big Mitchy Georgiades is on Sunday night, Tomo.
My goodness, I was riding the emotions with you, mate. It was ups, it was downs. How did you feel through it while we've got a moment?
Mate, I was just trying to work out what kind of content we're putting out there, mate. It was working late because I thought we were going to win. So I was like, we're going to get the good content out, and then we cooked up the losing content. But anyway, we're here to talk about golf. And, mate, talk to us about Clutch & Co. while Forbesy's cooking up the odds, because your range is honestly amazing. And anyone out there that needs to check it out, clutchandco.com.au with our discount code ACES, because, mate, you got everything now.
Oh, I appreciate that, Treno. We're in a good spot, and you've been one of our greatest supporters through the journey. So, yeah, just continuing to build out the range. We're selling into about 40 golf shops across Australia now, and obviously online sort of our predominant bread and butter there. So, yeah, mate, we feel like we're starting to integrate into a very, very established market here in Australia, and we're doing it through friendly price points, good customer service, good quality products.
Oh, I love it. Name a golf club that you just signed up. Give them some love.
Yeah, we've just got one in the books today, Jubilee Golf Club. Brad just placed an order this morning.
Oh, I love it, Bradley.
Well done, Brad, just out near Wangaratta there. He'll love that because he was pretty good on the blower. He's given me a couple of calls since just to sort of confirm everything's on the way.
Well, I'm sure you would have got back to him like you did to me today when I was hustling this run sheet. No wonder you're on the phone, the great man. What's your favourite store, or like one that really meant a lot?
Yeah, I'm loving the guys out at Eastern Golf Course. We've got Brett Nelson out there. He's just a great lad. He just backs us in. You know, I think we're a bit half-baked at times when we presented to him. He just said, no, mate, I like what you're doing. And, yeah, you come in and we'll support you. So he's been great for us, Big Brett out there at Eastern Golf Course.
Well done, mate.
Just like that clubhouse out there.
Yeah, I love it. Well, not happy with the clubhouse there, Forbesy.
Went down on a bit of fire there, Trainos.
We'll cut that out. Yeah, all right, I love it. I love it. Again, yeah, support Aussies. Support Dom not happy with a few things that Forbesy said. He might have cost him the next order. Let's keep moving, though. As I said, clutchandco.com.au. Use the discount code ACES and load up. He has absolutely everything. And Paulie Connors, as he says, the best socks in the business. He can't be saying that. You got that much of an offering, and he's talking about the socks. I mean, that is a stop that for Paulie Connors, if I can't say myself.
He started getting rolling, and then he goes back to the socks. He could move on, PC.
They are comfy socks. All right, let's get over from the socks and the clutch, and let's talk about this multi we've got. What are the odds there, Forbesy?
Look, so we're going to go top 20 for the boys. I like it just a touch more of insurance in the top 10. Trainer, your top 10s haven't made a cut so far since we've been doing this golf show. 1995. So it's just a fun number to say, let alone three winners here. So Tommy Fleetwood to finish in the top 20. We've got Victor Hovland to finish in the top 20. We've got Justin Rose to finish in the top 20. So you're getting 1995 with us at PointsBet. And I think it's not bad, that one for the golf.
That's elite. Who's going to let each other? If we lose by one leg, who's going to let the team down?
What are we doing? Maybe a nice little dinner. Maybe
a nice dinner. Yeah. And Forbesy can organise it. This man, he can pull strings. I called about 10 restaurants when Roquan Smith was in town, and Forbesy said, "Give it here, you clown. I'll sort it in 5 minutes." Next minute, dining table at the best Chinese restaurant in Melbourne.
Well, we know if it's a punishment that requires any plums, mate, you'll pull out crook the night before. So
that wasn't my fault. That was Wiles. Oh, this is great. Well, if you love your golf, the purpose of this show is to bring you to speed with absolutely everything. And as always, powered by PointsBet, the best odds in the business right here with some juicy markets. The Australasian one, as I said, $19. Support your Aussies and Anzacs. And if you want to follow our top 20 bet at $19.95, well, then just copy what Forbesy just said and build that in the PointsBet app. All right, boys, what else you got for me as we close this puppy out?
Have you played any courses over in Europe or any link-style courses?
Haven't had to. I think I played once in Ireland with my man Shawnee Hurley. We just went out there and played 18, but it was, when you're hiring the clubs and you're hungover, it wasn't as enjoyable as it was meant to be. What about you? Do I feel like are you flexing on us here, Forbesy? I've got a feeling that you've played at some luxury course.
Question from Forbesy,
isn't it?
Thanks for asking, Trano.
Here he is.
I know. I've been lucky enough to play at Turnberry when I was over for Royal Ascot, and we ducked up to Turnberry for a couple of days and snuck a little round in there. And yeah, the course was absolutely incredible. One of the best golfing experiences that I've ever had. No doubt. Perfect preparation leading into that one, Forbesy. Just 8 hours sleep, hydration, everything else. Yeah, might have gone straight to the airport after Royal Ascot in the top hat and tails before we snuck on up in Scotland. But fantastic experience, and might have shot 4 over as well. Oh, 4 over my ass. This bloke lives a nice lifestyle, doesn't he, Domo? No, it's probably on the meter to being there as well. He's getting paid, so it's just extraordinary. Clients out. I heard he was just taking a lifestyle and a bit like yours, Trano, actually. We're all a bit jealous. So, well, if you're enjoying the golf show, please just get in the comments. We love it. We really do appreciate it. Let us know your tip, and we'll make sure that we put something up on social media again. I think we should organise a competition. Do we do a little giveaway, Domo? Oh, absolutely, mate. Yeah, we can do whatever you want. Let's get an Instagram competition out. Let's get a few Clutch & Co items, and we'll put it up on Instagram. You just got to pick your winner for the tournament, and first one to select the name, maybe the strokes as well. Yeah, we'll go a head-to-toe package, mate. We can pump out a few of those, so we'll keep an eye on all socials. We'll get that locked in. I love it. All right, remind everyone who's going to win once again, and that'll be us done. Tyrrell Hatton will win the 2025 Open Championship. Matt Fitzpatrick will win the 2025 Open Championship. And Anzac will win the 2025 Open Championship. Thanks so much to everybody that tunes into the Aces Golf Show, powered by PointsBet, of course. And I'll just finish off with Clutch & Co. Use that discount code ACES if you want a little discount. We love offering you some value. Thanks, guys. I'll see you next year for another major. And hopefully we kick it off with Live, because we've got some big plans. We hope you liked our work here on the Aces Golf Show. And we'll see you next time on American Aces. Cheers.
Alpha Bravo entering the nest. All clear from the pie in the sky?
Actually, we've got a couple of situations developing.
We got visuals?
Just pulling up the PointsBet app ahead of the big race. So we have race previews, form factors, and tips from racing.com experts.
Now that's built different.
Hell yeah, brother.
Go, go! It's never been easier to handle any racing situation with PointsBet. Built different.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.